Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. This is the 4-Wheel Parts Nitto National Championship just outside of Reno, Nevada. I'm Miles Hasquist along with Jim Marsden. It's going to be a great weekend of racing, but right now we're about to kick off qualifying. These rock sections already have took its toll yesterday in practice, as well in practice this morning. Jim, what are we going to see today?
Well, it's fantastic to be back here at the Wild West Park here in Reno, and this course looks fantastic. As you were saying, Miles, these rock sections are massive this year. We've got an extra set of rocks before the start-finish site, and then we've got that massive rock mountain sitting right out there in front of us. But let's talk about the big change for this year. The course is running backwards. How do you feel about that?
I think they've changed the course up, and it's absolutely awesome. They've slowed the straightaway down with these rock sections, but then you go up this hill, and it's going to be a horsepower little challenge going up here, and then you go down the rocks, and then you go back up the rocks. The stock and the UTVs are going to shortcut the main race, but today the qualifying course, we do not go all the way up the hill.
Well, the time is finally here, everybody. Welcome once again.
So it's going to be very, very
Four-Wheel
fast.
Parts
What do you
Nitto
think the
National
times are going to be? I'm going to guess, let's see.
The final race
I'm going
of
to
the
say about
season, and we're starting
1:30.
qualifying of the Can-Am Motorsports UTV division in just a second here. First car in line will be coming out with the 7779 of Kenneth Goodall. And I'm joined up here by Drew Wright once again. Welcome back stateside, my friend.
Now, that's always a nervy moment being the very first vehicle on track. So how do we think? You reckon 1:30? I reckon, to be honest, we're going to be probably looking somewhere in the region of around about 1:20. But let's see. And
the global family, shall we
what
say.
we're going to say about the 4400.
What has the season been like over in Europe? We've been able to catch up. Social media is such a fantastic thing.
We're going to do the 4900 Can-Am UTV Motorsports class will kick us off. Following that will be the 4600 Spider Track stock class, followed by the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle modified class, followed by the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, and then the 4400 Unlimited 4-wheel drive will be the grand finale, like you said, Jim.
Yeah, we've got all our favourite superheroes racing here this afternoon, trying to get in the first place, trying to get that whole shot ready for tomorrow's racing to start. And we're talking about previous kings, we're talking about guys who live and breathe Ultra 4 racing.
And I think we're getting ready for it. It's so cool to have you guys here.
It's going to be a great day of qualifying. We're going live right now. We will be qualifying for roughly 4 hours. We'll see how it goes. We've got the Hammer King safety crew out there. We've got the telehandler. We've got all the safety crew. Everybody's dotting their I's, crossing their T's. But these guys are exciting. Earlier, you've probably seen it on social media already. Casey Shear launched the start-finish line, the rock section, over-jumped it, took a terrible toll. We did get word he is okay, but that car is very hurt. He is in the hospital. Everything's fine, so great to hear that. Casey, sorry about your luck. Wish you're out here, but get well soon, buddy.
Yeah, no, so unfortunately these things do happen in racing, but the safety gear and the rule book saving him once again. So unlucky Casey, and we hope to see you back on the track very soon. Now, we have got Kenneth Goodall who's going to be starting off the line very soon. He's going to be our first UTV and also the very first vehicle to be on course.
Europe and bring a different outlook to everything.
Well, our first car is off the line, getting ready to
we are live qualifying. Kenneth Goodall, he's a local guy out of Reno, Nevada.
Well, firstly, obviously, it's backwards. It's the complete opposite of last year. Apart from this section, this is
sorry, he's out of Arizona, my bad. Kenneth Goodall out of Arizona, heading down the rock section. We have Jen Wright, Savvy, Optima Battery, Monster, Nitto, King, Off the Grid, ARB, Tensor Tire. The rock section, they're going down this section, but look how big those rocks are compared to these little UTVs. This is the 4900 Can-Am Motorsports UTV class.
That's very interesting, talking to some of the UTV crews earlier today, and there's a big thing. Do they want a smaller tire or a bigger tire?
Well, as Kenneth is out there on the course,
faster in that short course, but those bigger
next
tires
car
are
taking the green flag any moment. That's
much faster.
Anthony McAbee. And we'll have definitely two cars on the track at the same time qualifying, possibly three if everything works out just right. But right now, as the green flag is out, and again, it's Anthony McAbee taking that green
short
flag.
Run of this. It's going to be a good run for Kenneth Goodall. This short course is roughly 3/4 of a mile, so it's going to be very fast, very fun.
Great introduction into Ultra 4 and off-road motorsport.
He's making his way into the infield now.
Ready to go.
And this is going to be the course set time. This is going to be the time that everyone's going to be. It's going to give us an idea as to what we can expect as we go through the day.
And we'll see how hard he hits it.
Go really out of the
he
crate.
Does not.
And amazing abilities as well. Obviously, the manufacturers have got a lot of development.
He got up to 63 miles an hour, Kenneth Goodall did. But he's got to clear both rock sections.
Another thing that's different this year is we had 2 rock sections here in front of the crowd, not just the one large one, but 2. As Kenneth Goodall crosses the line. Didn't trip.
So that was car 10 taking off, which is David Oliver.
And the 49.04, that's Anthony Maccabee. He's just crossing the rock sections, the 4-wheel parts and the steel at rock sections, making quick work in his UTV.
There's the next one off.
Sounds like number 10, that's
Rockford.
David Oliver in his single-seat UTV. This is the 4900 Can-Am Motorsports UTV class. Looks like David Oliver has to do a little bit of backup on that rock in the MBRP rock section.
Yeah, these rock sections are going to prove tough for these little UTVs. They're tenacious little vehicles. And just look at the way he's carving his way up through there. Now, we were talking about these rocks earlier, and I think these rocks are going to have a huge part to play in this race later on this weekend as we watch David Oliver fighting his way to the top.
UTV qualifying session.
Locks it down and heads on into the short course.
And do the best lap that they can
nice
to give them a start position for
Oliver.
the main race.
He's well down on time to Kenneth Goodall at this point.
So that was Ryan Rockford off.
And we're going to see 19 runners in the UTV class here at the 4-Wheel Parts Nitto National Championship 2019 here at the Wild West Park at Sparks, Reno, Nevada.
Jim, it's an absolutely beautiful day out here. Thank you again for tuning in with us. It's been a great couple days of practicing, test, and tuning. So everybody back at home, hit the ultra4racing.com/live, hit the Facebook, hit our
local boy on the start line now.
Instagram, hashtag it up.
Car
and here he goes, crossing the line, Nevada. David Oliver. We're just waiting for his time to come up. A nice, smooth run there.
Reno Tahoe obviously help us with this as well and sponsor this race.
And he's fighting his way across the final rock section there. Tenacious drive there from David Oliver as he passes over the timing loop. Takes his time and he'll make his way up to the top of the course before returning down and making his way back to the pit. So a nice run there from David Oliver.
Right, there we go, off. Number 570, local boy. Watching Ben coming down those rock sections. through the MRV and MVRV section. And that's going to get interesting in the main race because there's 2 or 3 lines there, but they're all already big rock obstacles that have moved. So that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out in the main race.
Dan Waller's the next car in line in the 261. Again, this is the qualifying for the Can-Am Motorsports UTV division. Getting ready for the finals tomorrow afternoon.
Welcome back. Sorry we had some technical issues. I'm Miles Hasquist alongside Jim Marsden. This is the 4-Wheel Parts Nitto National Championship. We're just outside of Reno, Nevada at the Wild West Motorsports Park. This is qualifying for our season finale. We've already wrapped up our 4-Wheel Parts Eastern Series and our Laser Nut Western Series. So I believe that's Daniel Markley heading over the rock section. So Daniel Markley with a 64 miles an hour, fastest car on course today coming down the optimal 180 turn towards the start finish. Up next is Darian Gomez on course.
It's great to see Darian here back on course, one of the Gomez brothers. Or should I say the son of one of the Gomez brothers. Darian is superbly fast. We've just seen Dan Waller coming through our speed gun at over 65 mile an hour. So what can Darian Gomez do? Look at the way he's attacking these rocks. Fantastic stuff here for the young man. He does not hold back. He has various titles to his name, and he'll be dying to add this one to his impressive CV.
That's Raul's son. He's raced with us for a very long time. The Gomez brothers have been racing with us for a long time. Always fan favorites. They've actually stepped up and been racing the T1 truck a little bit. So Darian was able to race with his dad a little bit there.
Now just looking at this here, Miles, it looks like he's got a right rear flat as he makes his way up the hill. Let's see what he can do through our speed gun.
So that, if he decides to hit the rock section hard, that's going to pitch him different. So hopefully just kind of rolls through the rocks.
Well, no, let's check this out, because Darian's one of the guys who could try to jump this. So let's just see what he does.
He pumps the brakes. He is going to check up for the rock section. I think that's a good move with that right rear flat, but Darian is moving well, the number 90.
Yeah, lovely flow there across the line. And he's making his way into the second set of rocks now and towards the timing loop. This is a nice run from the young man.
And look at how hard these rock sections are on these little UTVs.
Oh, look at this. Fantastic flow there from Darian as he crosses the line. And that is a superb time.
Unofficially a 2:03 for Gomez. Up next is Travis Zollinger, number 20. He is our current points leader for the four-wheel parts Nitto National Championship. So this will be interesting because remember, qualifying, this sets up for tomorrow's heat races. But if you are the KMC hard charger, KMC is going to reimburse their entry fee, and you get 7 points towards your points lead for the championship. So lots of these guys are going to be playing their role because Travis Zollinger is sitting in first place with 37.90. Right behind him from the east is Dustin Robbins with 37.70, followed by Anthony Yout out of Missouri, 37.65. Ben Jones, he's a local. He's got 37.50, and then Scott Lesage out of San Diego with a 35.12. So about 270 points split up the top five, so it's going to be anybody's race. But on screen, number 20, Travis Zollinger, ZRP. He's teamed up with Jacob Versey. They've been running really well this season.
It's interesting to watch as Travis makes his way up the left-hand line there, and it looks quicker than Darian Gomez at this point. Darian was really fighting that harder right line as Travis makes his way into the infield around the Talladega bends. A little bit untidy, but looking quick.
And I think our fastest time of the day is Daniel Markley with a 1:56. So it's going to be very interesting, but these UTVs are not jumping the rock sections. I predict the big guys are going to have to put down that fast time.
Yeah, we saw some of the big guys in 4,400 in free practice clearing the rock pile, including Mike Boo in Tom Waze's and Jason Shearer's old car. He absolutely skied it, and also Levi Shirley, crowd favorite and Maxis backed. He also cleared it earlier on in free practice, so I expect those other big guns to be out there as we watch Travis Zollinger making his way across the first set of rocks and heading into the second bigger rock garden and making his way.
65.
And we've got confirmation that Travis has just gone through our speed gun at 65 miles an hour. So he is absolutely sending it as he crosses over the timing loop to finish his run.
So unofficially with a 2:07 for Travis Zollinger. So Markley's a 1:56, I believe. So Travis Zollinger unofficially with a 2:05, roughly fifth place right now.
And we've got Cole Clark now leaving the line.
Number 24, he's part of Jimmy's Army.
And we were chatting to one of his pit guys earlier this week, and he's absolutely stoked to see this young man out on track and has high hopes for him here at this race. Only 24 years of age. and has already had some impressive results through 2019. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way down the big rock garden.
He's passing the ARB flag, the King flag, the Method PRP. Cole Clark's door just popped open on the passenger side. He does not have a co-driver, but that's going to take its toll on him.
Well, he might have to be careful here. He could get stopped on course. Well, let's see how the race officials see that.
He is riding by himself, so there's nobody over there, so safety, we'll see what happens, but Cole Clark's really all over the throttle.
Yeah, it's got 2 positions on and off at this stage, and it's mostly on as we watch him come around that first, and he's looking sharp. It's so good to be back here, Miles. The action is fantastic as always, and these UTVs are giving us a fantastic display of why we love them so much.
And Cole Clark rolling through the King doubles section right there. Cole Clark's really running hard in the 4900 Can-Am Motorsports UTV class. I expect to be a sub 2 minute for him. He's still got both rock section, the 4-wheel parts first section. He slows down, and then he'll be heading into the Steal It section shortly,
That was beautiful there from Cole Clark, the best we've seen through the rocks so far as he flies into the second rock garden. Look at this young man go. What a run.
I believe that's going to be our fastest run of the day unofficially for Cole Clark, right around a 151 mark unofficially.
That's fantastic to see, and there'll be some very excited people in the pits. And Cole Clark lays down a superb time.
That guy had a good run.
So unofficially, Cole Clark could be sitting in that KMC hard charger position. I believe.
Okay, we're just getting confirmation. Cole Clark, he didn't just send it, he sent it. Fantastic stuff here at the Wild West Motorsports Park at the Nitto National Championship here at Reno.
And I believe that's the 417 of Justin Barth, if I'm not mistaken. Clark with a 1-4 by him. Up next on screen is Justin Barth out of Springfield, Missouri. Running a smooth race.
Had it earlier about the just had the tops of the rocks, made it look easy.
I was talking to him in the pits earlier, yeah. Sometimes if you go slow, you fall in the hole, so you try to just kind of dance across, but there's absolutely a happy medium.
Totally, but it was all the difference between those guys who are on form who can feel it and those guys who are slightly off that pace. And we're going to see so much more of that as we charge on through the classes later today. You'll see how the different cars perform on the rocks in different ways. Right the way down to those big guns from 4400, the unlimited class, and I cannot wait to see that.
Speaking of the rocks, the 4-wheel parts rock section is going to be the thing to watch today. These guys, I was talking to them this morning after practice, there's a lot of guys that are just going to send it over that first rock section. Up next should be Dan Patterson, I believe. Taking off. You see our wheels outside of Reno, Nevada at the Wild West Motorsports Park. Absolutely gorgeous day. There's the 4932 of Scott Lesage. I just bumped into him down in Mexico for the Nora 500. He was running, looks like 103.
It feels amazing. The car feels like she's going into space as he makes his way down the hill to all the 4-wheel parts rocks, and look at this, he flies through that 4-wheel parts rock section as he makes his way onto the Steal It rocks.
Dan Patterson really running hard, trying all he can to get that fast time.
Yeah, he gets a nasty
4900 UTV class. Altogether, we have over 100 cars that should take the green flag tomorrow for the 4-wheel parts Nitto National Championship.
And let's not forget, this is divided across 5 classes. We had the 4900 Can-Am Motorsports. We then had the 4600 stock class. Then we also have the 4500 modified Yukon gear class, the 4800 class Legends from Brannick Motorsports, and also the Nitto 4400 Unlimiteds. We're just waiting for our next runner here in qualifying.
And this is number 420. Anthony Yount will be taking the checkered flag here soon, but the safety crew is getting everybody signed up, getting everybody safe and sound. It looks like 49.32. That's Scott Lesage. I believe he has a broken axle, so tough break for him.
Yeah, our fantastic safety crews here, just making sure he's okay. He'll be turned round. They'll make sure he's off course, and then we'll get straight back to qualifying here in Wild West Motorsports Park for the four-wheel parts Nitto National Championships 2019.
We are qualifying for the 4900 Can-Am Motorsports UTV class in the National Championship points hunt. Up top is Travis Zollinger, closely followed by Dustin Robbins, Anthony Yount, Ben Jones, and Scott Lesage rounding up the top 5. This is the final race for the 2019 season, so these guys will be laying it all on the line. They want to qualify well today to kick off for tomorrow's heat races. So Anthony Yount, number 420, on screen.
Yeah, Anthony looking superb as he makes his way up through that first hill.
He's sponsored by NCB Diesel and Off-Road, No Respect Racing. He was our East Coast Championship in 2016, multiple podiums. So we'll see. I was talking to Anthony last night. He said he got the green light to launch the four-wheel parts rock section, so it'll be very interesting to see how hard Anthony pushes this car. This thing's an absolute tank.
Now, that might all have changed now, of course, that we saw Casey's accident earlier on. But let's see what Anthony does. He's a hard charger. He wants to be on first place off that line tomorrow morning.
They're qualifying today. The KMC Hard Charger Award, they do reimburse the fastest guy in each class. So huge shout out to KMC. Great job by all of those guys. They've done it the last few seasons. It really helps out the pocketbook. And they get that really awesome 7 points for the fastest qualifier. So that's going to mean a lot in this championship.
It certainly is as he makes his way up through to the final hill. And the final Optima bend at the top. We'll get confirmation of his speed. Now he's coming down the hill towards the four-wheel parts rock section. Is this young man going to send it?
You can hear it wide open. He does check up a little bit. So Anthony Yount does decide to... No, he does jump and just runs a smooth race. That's the fastest over the rocks right there. Anthony Yount may get that KMC Hard Charger. Is he going to bump out Cole Clark with a 149? It's going to be down to the second.
That was a superb piece of driving. We saw Cole Clark so clean over the rocks, but Anthony Yount there making it look so simple. Great piece of driving there from the young man. Control, power, pace, everything you want to see when we're watching Ultra 4 racing. So we're just waiting for confirmation of Anthony Yount's time there, and he was the last of the UTVs.
So Anthony Yount gets the time of 1:56. So unofficially, I believe it is Cole Clark going to get that KMC Hard Charger. We need to get from the race officials, but I believe it is unofficially Cole Clark sitting in that KMC Hard Charger. Congratulations goes out to him and his whole team.
It's worth noting when we were watching Cole how smooth he was around the entire course, tidy around the corners, fast out the bends. Then he had that wonderful run across the rocks, just kept ticking away, making sure that he was fast and smooth at all times. Great work there from Cole Clark.
And up next is going to be the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. Up first, it looks like it's going to be Dawson Allington. He's been racing with us a great time. He brings his mom and his dad out to every single race. His mom actually co-drove with him at Ridgecrest first time in the car. She had a blast. But he is he's running solo for this short course. His first year of racing was in 2018, and he did awesome out there. So great to see Dawson out here racing in that Jeep. It's a TJ based. So it used to be a grocery getter, but he's turned into a race car, and Dawson really puts it through his paces.
He does indeed. Now, Dawson's a lovely young man. He's been very ill in the last year, so it's superb to see him back out here and racing.
Dawson also just raced Crandon for the 50th anniversary He was racing with the big boys. He went out there and had an absolute blast.
Now look at this, Miles, I'll remember your name in a moment. Look at that line that Dawson's just taking, a completely fresh line that we haven't seen so far today. Great stuff here from the young man as he works this Jeep down through the rock section. And this is quick, Miles. I like this. For a stock car, he is really moving. Let's not forget these guys are on 35-inch tires.
Has to have the stock frame, 2 seats, 35-inch DOT tires.
Yeah, so no sticky tires for these guys, but that's also going to be an advantage in many ways. The sticky tires on this kind of course as he wheelies
does a huge wheel stand. Dawson doesn't back off, all over the throttle, making up that MBRP rock section.
He's running Dana 44 axles on there, and they're taking the strain beautifully as he makes his way around this course. Great skill here from the young man.
Thank you for everybody back home tuning in, ultra4racing.com/live. We've got people tuned in all over the world. Thank you for all the great input. Teresa and Bailey, thanks for staying tuned in. Jim, I'm having a blast. I hope you are too, buddy.
I sure am, Miles. It's great to be back here. And we've been watching these stock class cars. It's starting to get exciting as we make our way through the classes.
And you see him taking the 180 Optima battery turn, coming downhill towards the 4-wheel parts rock section, and coming down a different rock section, Sean McNamara. So Dawson running great. He's running a smooth race. He's running his own race. This is qualifying. So we'll get a time for Dawson as he crosses that finish line for the KMC qualifier.
Great run there from Dawson Allington, and now on course we have, it wouldn't start, so he took the entire wiring harness out of the front of the engine, put it all back in again, and miraculously it started. So it's so great to see him here on track, and he's doing really well as he makes his way to the final top end and makes his way down to the 4-wheel parts rocks.
They give it all they got every time, and just to show they've completed 4 out of their 6 attempts at King of the Hammers. 2 of those were on the podium. So the Poor Boys Racing, Brian and Sean McNamara.
As we watch John Snow working his way down through. So you may have noticed that we have multiple cars on track. That's because we have so many vehicles to get through qualifying today. So bear with us if you don't see your Super